Let's go find Tommy.
Agatha All Along has been topping TV charts all series. With season 1 now at a close, today at ScreenRant we're looking back over each episode. So let's break down everything that happened and what the finale means for Agatha and the teen's future. Warning, spoilers ahead for the full season. In the finale of WandaVision, Agatha made herself known, and the two strongest witches battled it out, with Wanda winning. Though the Scarlet Witch released Westview from her control, she kept Agatha imprisoned in an imaginary world. This is where the season premiere of Agatha All Along picks up, opening in similar style to WandaVision, with Agatha living out the life of an overworked, surly detective named Agnes. In true meta form, the audience are shown it as a crime drama, rather than reality. The case Agatha is working on is the murder of an unknown woman. Though we don't see her face, it's clear it's Wanda Maximoff. This is likely either Wanda's choice to ensure that Agatha thinks she is truly dead, or some part of Agatha's subconscious wishing for it. It's not long, however, until the spell is finally broken by a mysterious teen played by Joe Locke. Once again, Agatha has to fend off an attack from an acquaintance, Rio Vidal. Rio reveals that the Salem 7, daughters of witches Agatha destroyed, are coming to end her. Agatha discovers teen locked up in her closet, the last actions while she was still in her delusion. She frees him, but his name remains a mystery as a sigil covers his identity. Agatha needs to walk the witch's road to regain her power. The teen begs to join her. Failing to shake him off, she enlists him, and they go gather a coven. They recruit divination witch Lila Calderu, played by Patti LuPone, potions expert Jane Cale, played by Shasir Zamata, and protection wish Alice Wu Gulliver, portrayed by Ali On. All have their suspicions of joining Agatha. She is a renowned covenless witch, something that indicates danger and untrustworthiness, but all have their reasons for choosing to walk the witch's road. Once the women join Agatha, they need to recruit their final member, a green witch. An argument ensues and Agatha heads to her gardening enthusiast neighbor, Sharon Davis, who we recognize from WandaVision as Mrs. Hart. Finally, the Coven is created. Agatha sends teen to keep watch for the Salem 7, and the witches sing the summoning song. After some delay, the door to the road appears, and the teen and the Coven escape to the road. The first trial of the Witch's Road. We learn dark rumors and troubling realities about Agatha and our Coven. Jen informs teen to be careful of Agatha, mentioning that she traded her son for the Darkhold. Each witch faces hallucinations of their regrets and fears while having to find an antidote to poison they drank for the trial. The most poignant of all is Agatha's vision of a crib that holds the Darkhold rather than her baby. Jen manages to create an antidote to the poison with seconds to spare, and the Coven passes the trial, but not without loss. Mrs. Hart is dead. The Coven are now without their green witch, though Agatha wishes they continue without one. The other witches insist one is summoned. This leads to Rio, played by Aubrey Plaza, joining them on the road, something that Agatha is not pleased to see. Trial 2 takes the group to a 1970s home. Careful to look for clues instead of stumbling straight into the trial, they discover it is a recording studio. This leads the Coven to believe that the trial is for Alice, whose mother Lorna was a powerful witch and popular musician in the 1970s. Lorna passed away, supposedly on the road, but not before informing Alice of a terrible curse the family have. During this time, Rio also flirts with Agatha about betraying the Coven, which Agatha ensures the whole group hears. Before a fight can break out, Teen finds a note saying to play a record, which he does. The record is played backwards, which summons a demon, the source of the Wu family curse. The Coven must play Lorna's version of the Witch's Road song and defeat the demon. Alice kills the demon, setting herself free from the curse, and the Coven are allowed to leave. As they exit, they discover that Teen is badly wounded, but is saved by Jen's healing skills. Chased by the Salem 7, the Coven resort to creating broomsticks from the road's woodland. They escape and enter the next trial, a 1980s style cabin you'd find in a teen horror movie. The Coven must play a game of Ouija, and it becomes clear that this is Agatha's trial. The group makes contact with Agatha's mother, Evanora, who is killed by her daughter in 1693 along with her previous coven. Warning the coven to leave Agatha behind, Evanora seems to possess her daughter and attacks the group. As a protection witch, Alice uses her powers to expel Evanora from Agatha, but then leaves Agatha able to absorb Alice's magic. As the commotion continues, Teen goes back to the Ouija board and sees the name Nicholas Scratch spelled out. Calling his name stops Agatha immediately, but the damage is done and Alice is dead. Agatha insists that it was accidental, but Teen becomes angry. After they leave the trial, Agatha continues to goad Teen. Angered, he magically forces Lila and Jen to toss Agatha into a mud trap, but then sends them in as well. As the witches disappear, a crown similar to that of Scarlet Witch appears on the Teen's head. The next episode focuses on how Teen came to be Billy Maximoff. We follow a flashback from 3 years prior, where Teen celebrates his bar mitzvah with a magic theme. He has his palm read by Lila, who puts the sigil on him. On the way home, the hex of Westview is dropping, and his family end up in a car accident. This is when the soul of Billy moves into Teen's body. The episode follows Teen trying to make sense of his memories, what happened at Westview, and what his true identity is. The plot follows him up to the most current events, and includes a cameo from Evan Peters as Ralph Boner, who provides insights into the horror of being under the witch's spell. The true reason for Teen's desire to walk the road becomes clear. He is looking for Tommy Maximoff. In episode 7, Agatha has escaped the mud trap and finds the Teen sigil is broken. Upon understanding Teen's identity and his likely goal, she convinces him that they need to complete the road together. Meanwhile, Jen and Lila also survived and have found a path through the road underground. Lila's behavior is becoming more erratic as flashbacks and memory lapses that have always been present become intense. In one, Lila is sent back to her childhood in the Renaissance. She is at her first divination lesson and discovers she is living her life out of order. Meanwhile, Teen and Agatha enter the next trial. Upon entry, they are changed to look like iconic fictional witches. Teen is Maleficent, Agatha is the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz. The trial itself is a divination trial. Jen and Lila continue on their path to reunite with the others. They hear the Salem 7 but manage to evade them and eventually find their coven. Lila is dressed as Glinda the Good Witch from Wizard of Oz, and Jen appears as the hag from Snow White. It's eventually realized that the trial needs Lila to read her own tarot. She discovers that Rio is actually death, and Agatha confirms it. Upon completion of the trial, Lila sends the rest of the coven on and stays behind to defeat the Salem 7. Sacrificing herself. In episode 8, due to the way in which Billy survived, Rio is adamant that he cannot continue to live, citing him as an abomination against the natural order. In a secret conversation with Agatha, she revealed he must go willingly to Rio, as she cannot take him otherwise. Agatha makes a deal to deliver him if she is spared, and never sees Rio's face again. The final 3 of the coven continue on the road, and discover the group's shoes, which they remove before traveling the road. The 3 put their shoes back on, and are transported to a morgue-like version of Agatha's basement with grow lights slowly going out. Jen discovers Agatha was the witch who bound her and performs the unbinding spell. This releases her from the trial. Agatha helps Billy locate Tommy's soul. He immediately places it in the body of a drowning boy, similar to his own resurrection, and Billy is released from the trial. Alone, Agatha discovers a dandelion seed in her locket and grows it in the crack of the floor, completing the trial. She finds herself in her backyard, where Rio is waiting. Now Wiccan, Billy helps fight Rio. Agatha attempts to give Billy to death, but he convinces her to sacrifice herself. Rio allows Billy to leave. Upon returning home, he sees many of the objects in his bedroom match the experiences on the road. The episode ends with Agatha laughing and Billy screaming. The final episode provides us with the true story of Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch, and the origins of the road. In 1750, Agatha gives birth to Nicholas, but is warned by death that she will eventually take him. Agatha spends the next 6 years absorbing other witches' essences while raising Nicholas. Together they create what will eventually become the Ballad of the Witch's Road, a simple children's traveling song. Eventually Nicholas grows sick and death takes him. After this, she becomes ruthless and cold, and across the centuries she continues to con witches out of their powers and builds up the folktale of the Witch's Road. Now let's break down the final moments of episode 9. This story cuts forward to the present, with Billy trying to come to terms that it is his power that created the road. He is visited by the ghost of Agatha, stating that she made a calculated risk to save his life. When he asks if the road was entirely his doing, she confirms it, stating that it never existed until he made it exist. It is then that he realizes he is responsible for the death of the witches on the road, though Agatha points out that not all died, and we see Jen emerge outside of Westview with her powers intact. Agatha also tells Billy to get used to the feeling of losing a coven. He returns to Westview to banish her, but when she reveals she is afraid of facing Nicholas, Billy allows Agatha to remain. He closes the road portal, and she assists him on his search for Tommy. That wraps up our breakdown of Agatha All Along. What did you think of the season and how it ended? Thank you for watching Screen Rant, and stay tuned for more MCU news.